back to my channel. Hello if you are new. So today is a book video, but it is also related to money. So today we are going to go over all the books that I've read about money that have helped me form my opinion on how to spend and save money for retirement, or just basic things, to everything that helped me get out of debt, to just basic things about money that a lot of people may not know. So first things first, in high school I did the personal finance and literacy course with Dave Ramsey. It was part of my school's curriculum. I don't have that, but it is a workbook that I used, and I highly recommend it if you have teenagers. It's a great book to teach them everything from balancing a checkbook just to basically what terms such as 401k, IRA, and all of those terms mean. And then we have all of these that I've read and a couple that I don't have that I've read. So first book that I have on here actually goes together, and that is Dave Ramsey's first book, I believe, and it's the Total Money Makeover. It's a proven plan for financial fitness. This is the classic edition. It is very good. What I like about it is it not only tells stories of people that have gotten out of debt, or people of what's happened since they've followed the plan. It goes through the basic steps one by one, and it has parts in the book, like the very first chapter is what this book is not. It has stuff like Dave rants, which if you listen to his podcast or his show, you'll know he goes on rants sometimes. So it's just a little piece of advice. And then it also has what the myth is for money, what everyone hears, and what the truth is about money. Now, as you guys know, I personally use credit cards, and he does not. So that is one way that we differ on things. So I don't necessarily 100% agree with this book, but I can say that I followed this plan, with the exception of credit cards. I followed this plan to get out of debt, so I highly recommend following this. I use his app for my budget. You guys see those videos every week, and it's a really great book. I've read this, I've referenced this book, and I really highly recommend this book. You can get this at most libraries if you're looking to save money, but I'm a person that needs to own this, and I probably need to do something because I kind of put it down on a hot surface at one point. I was not careful with it. I'm more careful with my books now. So to go along with that book is the workbook. Now, I actually got this book and that book and a couple others in a bundle set that he had on his website. So I actually didn't utilize, I actually didn't fill out this workbook. I did look at this workbook and answer the questions myself and fill out part of it myself, because the certain parts of it are for spouses. So obviously as a single person, that does not apply to me, but the exercises are something that you can definitely follow, and it's really great. And there are assumptions, and it even takes you through retirement, which is what I'm working on now. So it's something that I'm constantly looking at and referencing. And again, while I don't actually physically mark in this book, it is something that I have been following. And what I especially like about it is that it has old ads when he was much younger. It's really funny to look at these older ads. And so for instance, you can tell he was younger in the Total Money Makeover book here versus the picture for the Total Money Makeover book here. So I find it funny. I found out that he does kids books. So interesting. I never knew that. But this book is one that I highly recommend getting if you are starting the program, and you can fill this out. Like I said, I didn't, just because I didn't know if I was going to utilize this whole thing. So the next two books that I read are very short, kind of funny books. So this is by Dave Ramsey, and it's the Money Answer book. And it has questions that people have asked him directly, or people have asked, and how he answers them, as well as gives kind of quotes and thoughts that he has in general. So it is really nice because a lot of the time you can come in here, and if you have questions, it categorizes what the questions are versus the basics, budgeting and relationships, how to invest, insurance, stewardship, how they feels about automobiles, buying automobiles and stuff like that. Anything from funerals and wills and all of that stuff is in this book. So it is a quick read. I did read pretty much every question and answer. I don't remember all of them, so I definitely could go back through and reread this. Then this book I also got from Dave Ramsey's website, but it's not by Dave Ramsey. This is by John Acuff, and he actually was someone that followed Dave Ramsey's plan. So he followed Dave Ramsey's plan, and so he wrote a book called Gazelle's Baby Steps and 37 Other Things Dave Ramsey Taught Me About Debt. So if you follow Dave Ramsey at all, you'll know what being gazelle intense is, you'll know what the baby steps are, and obviously 37 other things. So it's just a fun book that has, so it's got little clip things that he's learned and kind of breakdowns with images and pictures, and just kind of advice that he learned throughout the process of following the baby steps. So it's really interesting to read, and I think that this is a quick, enjoyable read for someone that maybe not know about the baby steps, but once is intrigued to kind of get in a toe in the water in this book. This is a great read. So the next book that I read by Dave Ramsey, and I promise you guys these are not all Dave Ramsey, so is The Complete Guide to Money. Now this it's the handbook of Financial Peace University. And so this book again breaks down the baby steps, and it's, I don't want to say it's the same as the Total Money Makeover because it's not. But again, I definitely feel like he gives maybe a little bit more. So he has key points. It's more of a lessons kind of book. So it has key points at the end of every chapter and questions to reflect on. So it was definitely interesting to read, and I'm just realizing I have a letter from my parents in it, and I lost a check a very long time ago, in 2019 actually, and I just found it in this book. So that shows you when I read this book, but definitely a book you guys should read. I would say I would read The Total Money Makeover over this book if you're choosing just one. But this book offers a lot of information, some of it the same and some of it more detailed in this one. The next book that I read is again from the Ramsey Solutions Company, but is not by Dave Ramsey. So this is actually by his daughter, Rachel Cruz, and this is Love Your Life, Not Theirs. I was getting close to finishing my baby step number 2. I was close to getting out of debt at this point. I was really getting frustrated because I saw all of these people my age getting new cars and buying houses and doing all of the stuff that I wasn't. And so her book came out at the exact right moment for me. And it just kind of goes over how to appreciate what you have instead of looking at other stuff, and understanding that not always, but they're probably in a worse financial situation, and by doing what you're doing, you're actually getting ahead, and you're going to end up with more peace at the end of it. It was a really great book. I absolutely enjoyed it. This book did take me longer to get through, just because again, I was having a hard time myself accepting that I was going to be better in the long run. So this is definitely a book if you just need a mid-baby steps pick-me-up when you're getting through debt. I'd highly recommend this book. And then we come to one other book that I actually don't own. My dad owns it. I got it for him for Christmas a few years ago, and that is Retire Inspire. It's by Chris Hogan, who used to be a Ramsey Solution one of their speakers. He's no longer, and I actually can't find the book. I'm really sad. I'm gonna have to go on eBay or something and find it. But That book I read after I got out of debt, and I absolutely loved it. It really inspires you to start investing and how to invest for your retirement, and I definitely utilize his tools to figure out how to best save for retirement and how much I'm going to need for retirement. So definitely check out those books. Another book that I read that's not necessarily to do with money, but I definitely think it affected my mindset, and that is You Are a Badass, How to Stop Doubting Your Greatness and Start Living an Awesome Life by Jen Sincero. I absolutely love this book. I read this book when I was just starting the baby steps, and I definitely think I could read this multiple times through different parts of my life and get different things out of it. But you guys, this is a book if you just need to feel good about yourself, to take the steps you need to feel confident. I highly recommend this book. I got this book on a whim, and like I said, while it doesn't directly have to do with money, I believe there is a chapter on money in here. And while I don't agree with her methods, for instance, she gets a lease on her car and all of these things, and she spends a lot of money to make her confident. While I don't agree with that in the sense of money, I feel like the confidence and the kind of the pep that you get after reading this book definitely qualifies it as a book that helped me with money. The second to last book that I have read that has to do with money is Business Boutique, and this one again doesn't directly have to do with money, but it is the business side of money. And there is a couple other books by Dave Ramsey to read about money. But this is by, again, one of their faces. It's by Christy Wright, and it is a woman's guide for making money doing what she loves. So this book is to kind of how to put a business in place, how to make money doing what you love. And so I definitely think that this book is fantastic, and it gave me the confidence to really not start, because I had already started this YouTube channel, but be more consistent and to really start working on the things that I love in hopes that someday I can monetize this channel and make some money doing what I love. So highly recommend this to anyone that wants to be an entrepreneur or have a side hustle or anything like that. This is the book for you. The last book that I have read that has to do with money is one that I do not own. I actually, again, borrowed this from my dad, and it is a fantastic book, and it is called Rich Dad Poor Dad, and I highly recommend it. I don't remember who wrote it. It is an older book, but I think everything still applies, and it's how a kid had a dad that was a teacher and did all the things that you typically see, and how he ended up with not a lot of money and retirement, and then someone that was a dad-like figure and all the things that he did that seemed odd, and how they didn't seem like they had a lot of money but actually ended up with millions of dollars secretly, or not secretly, but not known because of the way that they dressed and the way that they lived, based on the decisions that they made. So that is the final book that I read that has helped me with money. There are so many more books that I plan on reading, and I'm so excited, and I'm sure that all of the books that I will share in my next video with you guys of all the books that I want to read to help with money, there's so many more, you guys, and I already can tell you that there's like 5 or 6 that I'm forgetting about that I will want to read in the next video. But definitely look out for that video. I highly recommend all of these books. Yes, a lot of them are Dave Ramsey books, but even if you don't necessarily follow the steps, I think you can get a lot out of these books. And it's definitely going to give you confidence and encouragement to continue on your financial journey. Again, whether you're following these steps exactly or if you're following them at all. So make sure to check out those books, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!